One true freshman that played early in the season was Nick James on the D-line. He played 4 games, hasn't played since. Is that one of those cases where you guys want to play in the 4 games to preserve the red shirt, or is this a physical thing where he got injured?
No, he totally decision to play 4 and did not want to burn the red shirt by playing more. So chose to keep him out for that very reason. So great question, though. He's healthy.
Mike and then Zach.
Yeah, Coach, Tywan Mullen last weekend, I think there was a series where he made 3 stops in a row and got you off the field. It seems like it's part of a larger story where he's playing a lot better here in the last back half of this season. Why do you think that is? I mean, I know he set the bar really high in 2020 with the season that he had and was hurt last year, but why do you think it's taken him a while this year to kind of get back into that group?
Yeah, it's probably hard to really say why. Definitely, he knew, and he and I've had a lot of talks, and just wasn't playing to his standard, his expectation, our standard, our expectation for him either. And so, finally got back to just being himself. I think sometimes you put too much pressure on yourself. You press. You're expected to do all these certain things, and obviously last year was the injury really set him back. But I think this year is just kind of more of just maybe pressing too much, trying to do too many things, and not just playing with great technique, and just let yourself. The way he played his first year here, where he didn't have that pressure, didn't have that expectation. He just went out there and made plays, and I think that's what he was able to do the first couple of years, and trying to get back to that. So there's no question he played his best game of the season last week against a really good group of receivers. So excited for him to continue that trend.
Zach and then Jack.
Sorry, I will sort of ask the obvious question just about where things stand at quarterback, but I guess I also wanted to ask, what's it been like for Dexter, maybe the physical side of I imagine he's a little bit more sore, during the week than he has been because he's getting more snaps on game days. And then also the mental side of how have you seen him process when there's a lot more for him to go through. It's a lot less about concepts and a lot more about here's just a ton of film for you to digest.
Yeah, I think that's part of the growth process that you go through when you go from being a guy that's maybe not even a 1 or a 2, which was the case earlier in the season, to now being in that rotation of a 1 or a 2, like he was last week and this week. And so, it is different. You have the demands of the total game plan that you have to be ready for and the preparation for that. So it definitely adds to the mental strain you go through and what you put your body through physically, as you mentioned, is part of it as well, and recovering from that and the hits that you take. And so, but yeah, he's done a great job with that and continue to grow and develop. And that's part of, what all quarterbacks go through as you go from, being a guy that's, not expecting to play to a guy that's having an opportunity to play. So whatever that role may be. So I just think I expect him to continue to grow and develop in those areas. And I'm proud of him for that.
Jack and Jim.
Hey, Tom. What are some of the impressions that you have of the Michigan State offense and maybe some of the challenges that they pose for your defense? And for you, what do you want? What are some things you want to see from your defense in a response to that?
Well, stop the run. They run the ball well. They got a talented crew of running backs, several that can all be effective. Big physical offensive line, like the receivers. They got 2 really, really good ones. Actually, got several good ones too that stick out, but others that have made plays as well. And I think a good core tight end. So you adjust all areas. A quarterback who's just gritty and tough and makes plays for him and gets first downs and scores points and does a good job of just making plays when they need them, and so just a highly competitive guy, you can tell, and we played against him for a couple of years now. So, but yeah, they do, and they're playing better, they've gotten, and they played good at times in the beginning of the year, and I think they and it showed flashes of what they could become, and so, especially in the throw game early on, and then the run game has now gotten better later in the year.
Jim and Tyler.
Hey, Tom, how are you today?
Good.
With bowl eligibility off the table, what do you want to see from your team in these last 2 games as closing the season out to either use for spring ball or just propelling into next season?
Well, it's a trophy game this week, and we're playing for the brass spittoon. So one of our goals that our leadership council came up with was to win our trophy games, and so that's what this is this week, and that's been the focus. And you want to play your best football. Whoever's out there, the guys that have been dinged up, obviously some guys won't be out there, but whether young or old, guys will get to play. More younger guys will get to play because of the injury situation, and obviously know where you're at with the 4 games for the guys and their redshirt ability and protecting that. And so yeah, I just think it's just the objective is to in all 3 phases, you got to play our best and on the road for the chance to bring home the brass spittoon.
All right, Tyler and Mason.
Hey, Coach. I hope you're doing well. I think you were talking yesterday with Don Fisher, basically just about how, given the modern landscape of college sports, that you almost have to kind of re-recruit your own the roster that you currently have. I guess how do you approach that, and what can you do maybe to try to keep those future pieces at IU?
Yeah, I think it's all about the relationship piece and being able to continue to connect with them once they get here and show them that it wasn't just about recruiting, that the recruiting talk that was made at that point in their process was not just talk. This is how it's going to be when you're here. And there's obviously some differences, when you're actually here every single day and not getting, steak dinners on official visits, But I think that that is big, and continue to develop them and show that they can be developed and prepared in your program to the level that they want to play at and that you want them to play at. So, but it's this constant relationship building, never stops, and you can't take that for granted. And I think that's a big part of it, without question. And there's everything that we talked about as well last night. So it's just a continuous process of making sure that they know that they picked Indiana for a reason, and those reasons are still at the heart of why they want to stay here and be here. And I get it. Things, have times things work out for certain guys, and sometimes they don't, and that can create some change. But the bottom line is that I think it's just being true to who you are and what you're all about, and that they see themselves being able to grow and develop here.
All right, Mason, last one.
Coach, with regards to the quarterback situation, I know you guys have kind of played your cards tight to your chest this week, but once you guys make that decision, is that something that you anticipate kind of being the result for the rest of the season, or do you guys anticipate like some sort of pitch count, or is that just going to be an evolving situation over the last couple of games?
I think that it could be an evolving situation. It kind of depends on how, things turn out, and how people perform. So, but bottom line is that, trying to do everything we can to put ourselves in the best position to win this week. And that's the focus, and that will be the focus again next week. So whatever we got to do to put our team in the best position to do that, that's what we're going to do. And that's what we've been doing this week. And obviously we made the decision earlier and prepare that accordingly. And so we'll just, play that out. But bottom line is that whoever's out there is going to lead our offense and help us drive down the field, score points, and win this game.
Thanks, Tom.
Awesome. Have a great day. Elio.